ready.
One of my most popular videos is the evolution of the Clone Trooper action figure, and it largely focused on the Phase 1 action figures and how they evolved through the years. And in that video, I didn't have every single variation of it, so I just considered it an evolution. Well, thanks to ODST for sending me the last few that I needed. I have every single white Phase 1 Clone Trooper. I also have every single Phase 2 white Clone Trooper, but that's probably going to be another video. Because, as you can see, this is already quite the massive ensemble. So let's get one thing straight. These are all just the plain, normal Phase 1 Clone Trooper. There's no guys with little markings on the shoulders, there's no Hawkbat Battalion, there's no training fatigues, because those aren't just a standard Clone Trooper. These guys are just the standard Phase 1 Clone Troopers, all the different versions they made. As you can see, you got a lot to choose from. You definitely have a lot of variety here. So I'm going to try to keep this video kind of as brief as possible, kind of just showing you the figures, because I've kind of gone over a lot of these already. There's some of them I've never touched on. So let's kind of start all the way at the beginning with the very first Clone Trooper figure ever produced. That is the Attack of the Clones Sneak Preview Clone Trooper. So this guy's pretty cool. Definitely holds a special place in my heart, because while it wasn't my first Clone Trooper, it was my brother's first Clone Trooper. So thus, I had this figure, well, at least I was able to experience this figure when I was a very young child, because my brother had it. So yeah, pretty cool figure, man. I have multiples of this thing now, because I think I just got him in a lot, because it's a pretty easy figure to obtain. It's a pretty simple kind of Clone Trooper. Articulation's not that great. Pretty much only has a swivel, swivel, swivel legs. That's pretty much it. Has Geonosis camo on the boots, which is pretty cool looking. Pretty cool clone. I believe his gun is actually cast in a clear blue, and the gun is just painted entirely, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I gotta say the helmet sculpt's really nice and accurate, because that's when they started using kind of the technology and the actual files from the character models. So that's pretty cool. I definitely like that one. Further along in that era, we have this version of the figure, which is actually not the same figure. This was released in those multi-packs for the Clone Wars line, the original Clone Wars line. And he has a little bit more articulation. As you can see, he is clear. He's not clear, he's clean. He's clear of damage. And his helmet sculpt is still very nice. I mean, that is a Phase 1 Clone Trooper, especially from Attack of the Clones. Articulation's definitely improved, because now he has sideways there. He has knees, well, hinged knees, not just knees. And he's just kind of nicer looking. He's a little more refined. Definitely enjoy this figure. I'm happy I have it. They did it in every single color of the rainbow besides the Sergeant. It's really disappointing. But yeah, still a really cool figure. I enjoy having it. Next up, let's get the Speeder Clone Trooper out of the way, because he's kind of just built on the gimmick of, hey, I'm gonna throw the mine. Look out, I'm gonna throw this mine, except I'm pretty much just scratching an itch on my thigh. Yeah, he came with a speeder bike. There are some variations of the speeder. Actually, I have both variations. But yeah, he's just a speeder bike Clone Trooper. I talked about him in the other video. He has some kind of odd articulation. He's mostly just meant to be on the speeder. He does have removable armor, so you can do that if you want. And he has an early iteration of the, not the Tamora Morrison helmet sculpt, or head sculpt. Oh my gosh, I'm so backwards today. But that one guy that was eating lunch on Camino, he has that likeness. So yeah, a little turret there, it's cool. Yeah, pretty neat clone. Some of the removable armor includes the arm armor and the chest armor and the thigh armor. So yeah, if you want a less armored clone, you can do that. But he's on the list and the Fatigues one isn't, because the Fatigues one was kind of meant to not have the armor on, and this one is meant to have the armor on. So that's why I put him on the list and not that Training Fatigues one. Also, I didn't want to get all the armor from my bag, because I really didn't want to worry about it. Next up, let's talk about some of these pre-posed ones that I got sent in the P.O. box. This one is really awesome, because he is looking out with some binoculars. I left the binoculars tied onto his hand so they didn't come off. But yeah, he's just got some minimal articulation, so you can kind of pose his arms just a little bit. You can have him actually shoot the gun if you want, but I personally am always going to have him looking out through the binoculars. Pretty good helmet sculpt there. It's actually, it seems like it's on a big old ball joint. Yeah, so that's interesting. So you can have some ball joint action with that if you want. Nothing in the legs, pretty much. Pretty static. Yeah, these came in those Army Builder packs. Each set you got 2 white troopers and a colored trooper. So you have to get various packs to get all of the white clones. Next up, we have the Standing Shooting Clone. His articulation is yet again pretty minimal, but he also does have that weird ball joint. He's pretty much just meant to stand there and look pretty while he's shooting at you. He's pretty nice stand-in for just your army. I mean, I have these guys in my Geonosis battle diorama, and they fill it out very nicely. Then next up, let's just get this little squirmy guy out. Here is the laying down trooper with his little DC-15 carbine. Looks pretty cool, man. I definitely like having a clone in a nice laying down pose, especially for certain dioramas and things. No way you can get him to stand up. Absolutely no way. He is destined to lie down forever, and you just have to deal with that. He does still have some articulation, though, which is nice. You can kind of slightly change his position if you need to. Yeah, just another one of the pre-posed clones. And then, one of my personal favorites, because you can't really get a lot of the normal figures in a pose this nice, is the kneeling trooper. I definitely like this kneeling trooper because, hey, he can actually kneel and look good doing it. He has a little toe bend right there, which I appreciate. And of course, you can still pose him around just a little bit. Just get a little bit of dynamicism if you want him to look over that way, like, come on! Or just looking over, just looking that way, or looking that way. Okay, I'm done. Anyways, those are the pre-posed clones. We're going to get to him a little later. Next up, let's jump to the original Tartakovsky Clone Wars one. And this guy's pretty cool. Not going to lie, definitely a fan. I've talked about this guy before. He's definitely kind of just an art figure. He's generally just trying to represent the Tartakovsky art style without really being an action figure. I've had this guy ever since I was a kid, so he's a little dirty. I might clean him up here soon. But yeah, I really love the sculpt. Really reminiscent of that original Tartakovsky series. I love it. Definitely one I would recommend. I love the gun, too. It's really simplistic, yet also really nice. Just one of the cool ones, man. I just like it. I've talked about it before. Minimal articulation, because like I said, it's more of just a representation of the art style rather than a posable action figure. That's for some of the other clones to enjoy. So speaking of other clones, let's move on to the one that I consider to be the best. And that is the original 2003 Clone Wars Super Articulated clone. This guy was also re-released numerous times in the Saga Legends banner. You know, kind of the repacks of the figures that everyone's going to want at some point when they walk into a store, like Darth Vader and Clone Troopers and Anakins and Obi-Wans. So I really loved what Saga Legends was. It's kind of like what the Black Series Archive line is, but Saga Legends was just, yeah, we're making sure things are out there for kids. And collectors, too. Like, you could always walk into a store and find a Clone Trooper from Saga Legends. I have plenty of this guy, because it's my favorite. It's my favorite Phase 1 clone. Actually has the red dot on the back of the helmet, which is cool. Even though it's kind of big, shouldn't be that big of a red dot, but hey, it's a detail that's there. Pretty cool helmet sculpt. Definitely not the most accurate, especially in comparison to the very classic helmet sculpt. But still, this articulation. This guy, he pioneered modern 3¼ inch figure articulation, and this guy's from 2003. So he's pretty much got it all. He doesn't have outward at the hips like the very new ones do. He doesn't have hinges at the wrists. But other than that, man, he's pretty much got it. He doesn't have the double ball joint that they have nowadays, which is crazy at the head. But I love this guy. Definitely, this is the one to get for me. He's also pretty affordable, too. So I really love him. And, thankfully, I was able to get more of it because of the Entertainment Earth 4-pack of Battle Damage Troopers. They did do this in all white clean ones, which is basically just that guy again. But this time around, they re-released it, or they had a different version, I should say, with some battle damage. This one just has some battle damage right there on the chest and on the leg. And yes, all 4 of these clones actually have battle damage on different places, so they all count as different figures. This one has it right there and right there, which is cool. And then this one has it right there on his chest and right there on his leg. So yeah, I appreciate having even more of this figure because, you know, and especially having him with this different battle damage right there and right there. It's very minimal, but it just adds some diversity to my collection while at the same time just adding more army bulk. I really enjoy that. Anyways, we're pretty much just down to the Clone Wars animated ones because I'm really trying to keep this fast. Have I talked about... No, I didn't talk about these 2 realistic ones yet. or that one. We'll just get the realistic ones out of the way. This is another one of my favorite realistic ones. This is from the Evolution set. You did have the alternative of giving him a clone pilot helmet, but you could also have it as just a regular clone trooper in the Evolution set. I really do like this figure. It's definitely a little older. It's not as posable as the Saga Legends, Entertainment Earth multi-pack one because it doesn't have any waist articulation. But still, I really like it. I like the removable helmet. I like the weathering a lot. I wish it was a little more consistent, especially on the helmet and the arms. I feel like the rest of his body's just really yellowed, while the rest is just, it's just kind of nice and white still. Still, really great figure. Definitely recommend this one too, if you're just kind of looking to bulk up your army. And then next up, oh no, okay, we have the Vintage Collection one, which a lot of people are going to call the definitive, but me Me personally, I just don't like the lankiness of this mold. I wish they would move on from it. But for now, it seems like this is the clone mold we're going to stick with. Has the clone eating lunch head sculpt, which I prefer to more Morrison, but hey, for phase 1, it's kind of forgivable. Definitely lankier, but then again, he does have the hinges at the wrist. He does have the, the in and out at the leg, which is nice. Definitely has some more ankle range too, which is appreciated. But I don't know, man, he's just so lanky and his hands are so odd to hold weapons. This guy, he actually, his life is spent being the gunner of my ATTE because he just looks awkward at doing anything else in my opinion. But still, I like it. The helmet sculpt's all right. Definitely not as good as, honestly, any of the others. But I do like it. I just think this mold could be better. And I think we need to just move on from it or improve it. But hey, it's what we have. And it's nice. It's nice. I'm not dissing it. I'm not saying it sucks. I just don't like it as much as the other ones. And then the 5 POA, I've talked about these 5 POA things so much. This guy was released in the Saga Legends line, the not good one, the one after that one. 5 points of articulation, that's what 5 POA stands for. Very basic boy, doesn't really do much, blah blah blah, whatever. Then anyways, let's just set him there. And let us move on to the animated ones. First animated clone was this one. This was the first release. And of course, like many of these 2008 clone troopers, it suffers from yellow belly crotchetitis because these figures, man, something about the original run of 2008 Clone Wars clones, they just get so yellow so easily. This is one of my variations of the dirty one. I do like it. I really do love the sculpt. I think the helmet to this day is actually really nice. And the articulation is nice. Pretty much the same thing as the Saga Legends one there, besides he has hinges at the wrist. So that's nice. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's that version. And then there was also a clean version, which this one also suffers from being yellow, which I'm not a fan of. But yeah, nice white and clean. Definitely nice and shiny. Hopefully one day I can get that yellowing gone. We'll just have to find a more permanent solution than hydrogen peroxide. So yeah, I like it, man. Yeah, I just like these guys. Gives me some 2008 nostalgia. Anyways, let's get this train finished. Here we have a 2009 clone with the newer helmet sculpt, and you can see the 2009 ones, they don't really yellow because I guess they changed the plastic or it's just different. Yeah, I like the helmet sculpt here. Definitely like it. And this guy, I debated making the same thing, but I decided to make him separate because the helmet is actually slightly different. This is the one that was packed with the Hailfire droid. Let's just look at that helmet and look at the glory of that very odd sculpt and the very odd paint. This looks like a knockoff. This looks like a real one. But no, they're both real, and that's kind of sad. Anyways, that is that. And I'm just going to show one of these guys over here in detail. Oh my gosh, why did you fall? And lastly, I'm not going to pick up all these guys because there's no real point. We have the named normal white clones. I decided to put these guys in the video because they honestly have no reason not to be. I mean, they're normal white troopers. They just have identities. The one I'm picking up here is Fives. His head is a repaint of Cody. You can see he has a nice 5 logo. And they have the kind of the 2009 style helmet for all of them. So yeah, there's Fives right there. We'll get a closer look at all their faces. I definitely like them. I definitely like them. So there's 5s. I don't have Echo on this because he has the unique helmet as well as the handprint, so he doesn't really count. And then here we have Gus, Chopper, and Slick. Sergeant Slick, the clone trooper that you have absolute every right to hate. Please hate on Sergeant Slick. Please leave my boy Commander Fox alone. Yeah, Gus and Chopper, definitely nice. Both of their heads are repaints of Captain Rex. You can see right there the tattoos. And then he's got the hair right there. And then Slick is pretty much just kind of like a normal clone head, but he actually has a bit of a unique haircut around the back there, kind of like Revenge of the Sith Cody. So that's cool. I appreciate that, even though he's an awful clone trooper and I hate him. But yeah, I think that's everyone. I don't think I missed any. That is every single Phase 1 white clone trooper ever released. I am not looking forward to putting all these guys back. I've had all these guys sitting on my desk for quite a while now, and I decided, you know what, tonight I'm going to film this video so I can get these guys off my desk so I can move on with my life. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Check my social media links down in the description below, as well as my P.O. Box address. Let me know which one your favorite is. Personally, my favorite is still going to be that guy right there, as well as all of the repaints, the battle damage repaints. Second is probably the Evolution one with the removable helmet. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to log off. I'm going to give myself some sleep. Have a good day. Force be with you. Catch you on the flip-flop.